What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Weapons Hot Mission Briefs here on YouTube. I'm your host, CJ the Painkiller DeSimone, doing a little quick show for you before I highlight the Roku show that I'm going to be doing at 10 p.m. So if you are signed into Roku, if you have access to Roku Free TV, please go ahead. Try to search up Northeast Streaming Sports. You'll be able to actually see the you'll actually be able to see the show live. I'm going to try my best to see if I can share it on Facebook or something. I'm hoping that I'm able to share it on Facebook. Sometimes it lets me, other times it doesn't, but what are you going to do? Anyhow, tonight, pretty much the title for tonight's show, we're going to talk about the Jets free agency. Jets have actually been pretty busy in free agency, and the problem is that a lot of people are somewhat tepid on what Joe Douglas has done in free agency. For me, to be honest with you, I feel like that the Jets free agency was actually pretty good. And the reason being is because of the fact that they went out and they said they were going to get offensive linemen. They did. They addressed the defensive line. Yes, we ended up losing a couple of pieces. You ended up losing Bryce Huff. All right. But you know what? I mean, when you think about it, all right, really, if you think about it, the Jets, as far as their cap situation is concerned, they were going into this year with $26 million in cap space going into free agency. All right. Now, this isn't like Madden, where you can go and make off-the-wall deals and everything gets approved and all this other bullshit. One of the things about what the Jets are doing in free agency is a lot of people criticize Joe Douglas for going bargain basement shopping, but here's the thing. You're getting your depth pieces. You're getting your fundamental pieces. He made a huge deal to pull off getting Morgan Moses back, all right, which definitely helps fortify the offensive line. Plus, on top of it, this past Friday, I'm sure everybody's heard, unless, you live under a rock, they signed Tyron Smith, adding yet another piece, another solid piece to the offensive line. Of course, they also signed offensive lineman John Simpson. I'm sorry. As I got my list right over here. Just want to take a swig and wet the whistle. I want to go through all of the free agency signings, what the Jets have done so far. We already mentioned Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, John Simpson. They re-signed Solomon Thomas. That was a huge get. They also re-signed Thomas Morstead. If you recall, Thomas Morstead was the one who actually clapped back a little bit at Mecole Hardman when Mecole Hardman was talking shit, saying that there's no standard on the Jets offense. They just kind of leave everything to Aaron, and they say Aaron's got it, but on the defense, there's no standard. So, a lot of people kind of took that. And not only that, his chain doing his press conference there as being the person who caught the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, everybody had to chime in. Everybody had to chime in and start talking all of their shit. Everybody had to chime in and start talking about all the other garbage that was going on. And here's the thing, though, all right? I really personally don't give two shits about Mecole Hardman, what he's got to say, what he doesn't have to say, if he is going to say something, if he's not going to say something. I really don't give a shit, because at the end of the day, he had no problem putting his name on the contract and coming here and wanting to play. So for me, if you're going to go and you're going to piss, bitch, and moan, and then you basically tell Kansas City, hey, come and get me, and then KC basically trades, a bag of balls for him, and, now all of a sudden he's contributing and he catches the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean, honestly, the whole purpose that Mecole Hardman was brought to the Jets was to play special teams. He was a kick returner. He was a punt returner. This is what he was brought here to do. He wasn't just brought here to be a wide receiver. He was brought here to play special teams. All right, and then all of a sudden he decided that he didn't want to play special teams. And then basically, that's where everything started to where the Jets kind of lost their distaste, because the whole purpose of you coming here was not only to play wide receiver, but to also play special teams. And then all of a sudden, you decide you don't want to play special teams, and then you start acting like a little bitch. All right. So then you basically go in and tamper yourself by telling the Kansas City Chiefs, hey, come get me. And then the Kansas City Chiefs go and they make a trade with the New York Jets to acquire you. So, a lot of people probably, of course, had their shit, and a lot of people wanted to give their comments and so on and so forth. But, as far as I'm concerned, I really don't know. I really don't think that I have any type of opinion on it, other than I think Mecole Hardman's a dick and just sounds like the scorned ex. But, but I actually want to bring somebody on who is actually going to be able to give us a little bit more perspective. You all know him, you love him. He doesn't have a fucking avatar or anything like that. Good old Scott Gillespie, the one and only pain in the ass. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How you doing, CJ?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So tell me, what I just talked about obviously my fucking headphones didn't work, so I'm not even gonna bother putting them on. What are your thoughts so far about the Jets free agency? Give me your thought. What's the temperature? What are you thinking?
If we can keep him healthy, it looks all right. But this is what scares me. It's another thing that JD does every year. He tries to pull the needle out of a haystack and find, gold where it's been tarnished really bad. Like, don't get me wrong, the left tackle from Dallas, yeah, he's great when he's healthy. But when's he going to be healthy? And when's he going to get a wide receiver? I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for somebody who knows how to catch a ball. So, but there's still a long way to go with this team. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh my God, we're this, we're that." No, stop. We won 7 fucking games the last 2 years. Let's not get carried away. It's
Yeah,
we did.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think everybody's kind of really just starting to get themselves into this whole fucking thing where, oh, Joe Douglas is going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to get this guy, he's going to get that guy, and whatever, and it never really pans out. So what are your thoughts on that?
Because Jet fans drink the fucking Kool-Aid. What else is new? Every time. Let me tell you, I've been banned from more Jets pages on Facebook because I speak the truth and people get mad at me. I had a guy today bitching at me about different things, about how he was telling me how literally JD is the greatest GM the Jets have ever had. He's top 5 in the league. And when I clapped back at him, he got mad. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not saying he hasn't done a good job like that, but all of his free agent signings, except for a couple, have been horrible. They've been atrocious. And now he's going to turn around and go get the left tackle from that the what do you call it? The Packers just cut. Why would you sign him? Come
David
on.
Bakhtiari. Well, here's the thing. I don't mind bringing David Bakhtiari in here unless you actually think that you could bring him in and it's going to be a good deal. Now, here's my problem with bringing in David Bakhtiari. And this is something that always, I tell people all the time, this is something that is always going to be a fucking pain in the ass and nobody ever listens. All right. So one of the biggest things that I get aggravated about is when we bring in free agents, it's like automatically they get anointed the starter. And I'm sorry, but it doesn't fucking work like that. I'm sick and tired of bringing guys in and we just automatically anoint them the fucking position. And yet we don't, like, there's no such thing as competition. But what does fucking Robert Saleh preach? Competition, right? He says nobody's guaranteed a spot on here. Nobody's guaranteed this. Nobody's guaranteed that. Blah blah blah. Everybody's gonna. Saleh's even said the same thing. There's gonna be competition. All gas, no break, and this, that, and third. So here is the thought that I have with, like, okay, if I go ahead and they are to sign David Bakhtiari. Okay?
Yeah.
My thought is that all of a sudden, everyone's going to be like, oh, David Bakhtiari should start. He should start right away. What the hell are they doing? It shouldn't even be a competition. No. If you're bringing David Bakhtiari in, then the conversation is before he puts the pen in, as soon as the man walks through the door, we are bringing you in to be a backup. We are bringing you in with maybe different packages where we will roll out 6 offensive linemen and have you play a tight end or an extra or an extra blocker in a short yardage situation or whatever. And see, to me, that makes sense. Bring him in. You're not going to start. You're going to be a depth person. That if, God forbid, something goes to hell in a handbag or somebody gets hurt, then you can inject him in the lineup.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Give him an incentive-laden deal, and away you go. If not, you're going to collect $5 million for sitting on the bench if everything goes right. You know what I mean?
And that's my thought on it. And to be honest with you, again, one of the things is that I have, and just bear with me, I am paying attention to everybody. I'm in the process of sharing the show. Finally, it took a little bit to get Scott on with his technical difficulties, but now that we got him on, I want to take advantage of it that he's here. So, for the most part, that's what the thing that I want Jet fans to kind of understand. Like, it's okay to be excited about free agency. It's okay to be excited about the potential that Mike Williams is going to be visiting the Jets tomorrow, right? Everybody's like, okay, well, as soon as he walks in the building, you lock the door and you don't fucking let him leave without signing the contract. But,
I don't.
The question is, if you are to go and to land Mike Williams, let's just say in a vacuum, say they are able to go and to land Mike Williams, then what does the New York Jets draft shape up like, in your opinion?
To me, I still want to trade back. I mean, we still have way too many holes on this team. People think this team is ready to compete. We've showed over the last 2 years we're not ready to compete. Yeah, I know everybody can say our offensive line, or the other half of the people say it was Zach Wilson. I mean,
well,
but
see, I have a counter argument to that. I feel like that. Yes, I feel like the Jets can compete. That I do. But I also feel like that they also got undone by Zach Wilson, because if you go and take a look, a lot of, matter of fact, Nick Sean, proud New York Jet fans, he did a show on Friday night. He had a couple people on his guests, and somebody brought up, about the fact that Zach Wilson held on to the ball too long. Zach Wilson would roll out of the pocket and not throw the ball. Zach Wilson would make shitty decisions with the ball. So
Zach Wilson couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Right, exactly. But here's the thing. There's you've heard me bitch about this. There is so much that you can put on the shoulders of the offensive line, and then there's so much that you have to put on the shoulders of the quarterback. And when you're going to fucking stand up there and you're not going to take any responsibility for your role in the offense looking like shit, well, then guess what? Then people are going to look at you like you're an asshole, because instead of being a team guy, you're being a me guy, which is the reason why he ended up getting benched after the Patriots game. And then all of a sudden, Mike White, and then everybody was like, oh, Mike fucking White, Mike White's the great white hope, and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But we've also shown, right? What was one of the things you had said to me? You put any other quarterback in that offensive system, not named Zach Wilson, and the offense actually worked, right?
Oh, without a doubt. There was a time last year, during last year's season, there was a 16-game stretch that if Zach Wilson would have just scored the league minimum, the Jets would have been 14-2. The league minimum. Not asking for much. I'm not asking for 20-some points a game. I was asking for 18, 17 points a game. That's it. League minimum. Right. I mean, we would have been 14-2. and I mean, but you have the Zach apologists that want to sit there and say, "Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that." Come on, the guy couldn't hit a swing pass. I mean, the guy in the first row eating his hot dog was in trouble of catching one in the face at times with Zach Wilson, with
Yep, I agree.
nobody around him. I mean,
Yeah,
it's.
I
I
agree.
mean, in his
I
in his
agree,
three.
and that's something that that's something that needed to get addressed in the offseason. And here's also another thing too, there, Scotty. All right, let me just roll through the Jets free agency for you real quick. All right,
Yeah.
you had the big signing, which was this past Friday. You had Tyron Smith. They
Yes.
made the trade to acquire Morgan Moses, which I actually
Great.
thought was a really good move.
Great move.
Okay, they signed offensive lineman John Simpson, who, according to PFF and according to some of the grades that are out there, he had a pretty decent season last year and could be a good piece in this offensive line. All right, I'm not going to say a great piece. I'm not going to say an elite piece. I'm going to say a good piece. All right.
My problem with him is he's just way too many penalties. He likes to hold people. I mean, it's like he needs to hug all the time. I
Yeah,
mean, that's my
so hopefully we're not going to get another Mekhi Becton 2.0.
no, because he
But
doesn't. He at least holds them and doesn't give up sacks. Mekhi Becton held and gave up sacks.
right, true. All right, so now as we continue through, now you saw a lot of defense getting signed, right? You
Yes,
had they re-signed Chuck Clark. Chuck Clark, he was supposed to be the guy last year who he ended up suffering the fucking the catastrophic injury, which basically ended
real
his season.
exactly.
They brought in Isaiah Oliver. Okay, they re-signed tight end Kenny Yeboah. They brought in defensive lineman Lakai Fotu and then defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw. Kinlaw is somebody who Sal coached when he was DC over at the
Yeah,
49.
that's the reason he was signed.
So, and then of course, they re-signed Greg the Leg, Tommy Morstead, the punter. All right, they re-signed Solomon Thomas. They actually reworked and re-signed CJ Mosley. And then, of course, we finally got a backup quarterback in Tyrod Taylor.
Which
So,
I thought was literally a great move. Tyrod Taylor has started in this league, and the only reason he lost his starting jobs is because he's been hurt. You know
right.
what I mean? When he's healthy, he wins games in this league.
Yeah, he does.
And
It's hard to argue that.
I mean, I heard today, or not today. I read during the end of last week. They're talking about bringing what's his name, Clowney in, like that. They're gonna have him come in. You know what I mean? He had a really good season last year, and the one thing he can do that Huff couldn't do, he can stop the run. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
this is a guy that, yeah, he's a little long in the tooth right now. I mean, he's been in the league for a while, but he put up better numbers than Huff did last year. And people Jet fans go batshit crazy over this guy. And you're gonna get him for half the price that Huff got. Please explain to me what the hell's going on with Jet fans. I don't understand it. You're
Well,
gonna get a guy who had basically the same amount of sacks, can stop the run, and is not a bad guy in the locker room. So, and with the way we work our defensive lines, they just keep rotating. This guy's going to be This guy's going to be healthy all year.
right.
So, but what do I know? People went crazy when they wanted to or when they cut Nick Mangold, who basically couldn't stop me from running past him.
Yeah, true. But I mean, look,
I
sometimes
don't know.
you have to you
Who am I to say?
the last person who thinks that the player is ready to retire
Are you there?
or they're done with anything
I
is
can't hear you,
what do you mean can't hear me?
CJ. You're not coming through.
Uh, I got all my levels moving. I don't know if you did anything over there. What the hell did you do? All right. Well, we're having wonderful technical difficulties here. So don't worry. We are working them out. We are working them out. I'm not sure what's going on, but let me try something here. All right, Scott, what about now? Can you hear me? All right, there's that. All right, check, check, check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2. My levels are moving. I mean, so Scott check. That's what he said. Come back, CJ. Don't go to the light. Don't go to the light. Well, I know my mic is working. Everything's been working. I haven't messed with anything, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But Scott, for whatever reason, can't hear me. So Scott, can you can't hear me? Oh shit. So talk talk to me. What are you doing? All right, now I hear something. Let me see if I pull this out of here and I put this in here. All right. Yo, can you hear me? Yes, no? You still can't hear me. All right. I don't know what the fuck's going on. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is all the shit that goes on when you do things live. So I do apologize for the technical difficulties tonight. Still working out some.
Can you hear me?
I promise we'll get this worked out. Eventually, we'll get it worked out. So, nope, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. I swear to God, I didn't touch a thing. Exclamation point. I'm not sure. All right. Well, Scott Gillespie dropped off. It is what it is. Then I don't have to worry about this because it's just me. But anyhow. All right. So we got about 9 minutes left in the show. Gone over free agency. A lot of Jet fans are getting excited. I know it kind of sounds like we're beating a dead horse here. But for the Jets, it was important for them to fortify the offensive line. So hopefully, if everybody could stay healthy, if everybody can stay healthy, then let's see what goes on here. All right, Scott, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. What the fuck did you do?
I have no idea. You're the one over there with the control panel.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, let me put my shit-ass headphones in. I got to see if my kid has an extra pair of headphones that I can use for the next show. At least until I buy my new ones. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Funny story, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I have a kitten, okay? Her name is Olivia. My son and I have nicknamed her ISIS. Why? Because she's a fucking terrorist. Okay, she basically goes around and whatever it is that she could chew, she's going to fucking chew. Okay, I had a $50 pair that I got from Amazon of Panasonic studio recording headphones. She chewed right now, mind you, this had a heavy-duty braided cord on it. This thing is made to take abuse. She chewed right through that fucking thing like it was nothing. And when it came in, she was playing around with the cord with the plug because it had already disconnected from the rest of the headphone. So yeah, needless to say, I'm rocking a $2.50 pair of in-ear earphones because my PC doesn't have a Bluetooth card in it. So that's something else I got to invest in. But what are you going to do? All right. So anyhow, real quick, Scotty, we got a few minutes left before we wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
What else are your thoughts about your
I'd be
your thoughts
careful
on
about I'd be careful about bringing Williams in for and overpaying him. He's hurt every year. I know everybody wants him because Jet fans. Oh my God, it's a name I've heard of, so we need to have him on the team. Yeah, okay. That's why we signed. That's why the Jets back in the day signed Ronnie Lott when he was 3 years away from Social Security. You know what I mean? It's
that?
just you got to be careful. I mean, I know you're JD's always trying to find the hidden gem where the guy's going to have one last good year. You know what I mean? But when he's hurt every year, you know what I mean? It's you're in a position that if you can't trade back, you know what I mean, there's going to be a big run on quarterbacks this year. You're at 10. Somebody's going to want to trade up in front of you. You know what I mean? Which
Right.
is going to push the offensive lineman back. Because let's be honest, there's only two real left tackles coming out in this draft.
Okay.
Everybody else is either a swing tackle or a right tackle. But you have the pass rushers, the two left tackles, and you have all the quarterbacks. And there's three wide receivers that are worth taking in the top 10. You know what I mean? If one of those wide receivers fall back to you, you know what I mean? You have to give serious thought of taking one. I mean, everybody knows the guy from Ohio State's not going to be there. You know what I mean? Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
But everybody else, there's a chance. I mean, the guy from LSU and the guy from Washington, they might be there. And if you're really going to give Aaron Rodgers a chance over the next couple of years, give him a weapon that that you can put alongside a Garrett Wilson. Because come on, Garrett Wilson has gotten 1,000 yards his first 2 years as Zach Wilson as his quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. Just imagine, how many yards he would get having an actual quarterback, not named Zach Wilson, throwing him the ball. So,
Exactly.
and you know what? It's like Aaron Rodgers loves Garrett Wilson, and he is itching. He's so itching to play with him. It's not even funny. So I'm
Oh, I know.
hoping. So I'm hoping they'll be able to work something out. I hope that 8 will get his ass in gear. We could keep him upright, and he could last more than 4 plays next year. What do you say? Maybe
Let's
we
hope.
push for 8, right?
Wow, dare to dream. Look at you going to double up.
How about that, eh?
Well,
Eh?
let's look at it this way. It's a win-win situation for me because if Aaron Rodgers plays the whole year and plays great, the Jets win. If not, it'll be a great Christmas in the Gillespie household again this year.
Shit. You're lucky that gambling's not legal in the state of Florida. I'd be like, give me your picks.
I give him the every week. You never listen to me.
That's because I got nothing over here to do. I have no place over here to bet. If I actually had someplace over here to bet, that'd be a different story.
let's just say they're in the playoffs. With the spread, I only missed one game the whole year. It was a beautiful winter break and everything like that for pro football.
I'm
Yeah,
sure they were.
but no, it's the Jets just can't. I mean, they can't do anything stupid. They're not good enough, and they don't have the depth to overcome that. I mean, I know half the Jet fans love Zach Wilson. They're like, oh, see, now let's let him learn behind Aaron Rodgers. You have to get that distraction off the team. You have to. He has to be gone. I mean, and I think they realize that, so that's why if they have to cut him, so be it. They'll cut him because right now, I mean, you just seen what the kid from Chicago just got. They got a 6th-round pick for him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I get it. I mean, the problem is though is that you need to make sure that you could fortify. You need another weapon for people to be cognizant of besides besides Garrett Wilson. And not only besides Garrett Wilson, but it's also you need somebody else, that the Jets opponents are going to be thinking about besides Garrett Wilson. Because if you
without
do,
a doubt.
when you start giving them shit to think about, then then people are going to be like, oh shit, we have to watch out for this, so we have to watch for this guy, and there's always a caveat to everything. So
Without a doubt.
one of the things that I like to say is give them the opportunity, go out there, just let them play, see what happens. Because think about it this way, right? If the Jets don't make the playoffs this year, they're blowing it up.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I don't think that JD gets another kick at the can. I don't think Solid gets another chance. I think Woody Johnson just gets the few sticks of dynamite and blows it up.
Yeah, without a doubt. And everybody keeps. I've seen. We've all seen the post on Facebook, the post here, and the post there that we should have went after Belichick like that and gotten rid of Saleh now. And I'm like, you do realize Belichick without Tom Brady, Belichick is literally an 18 to 21 game 500 head coach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I don't see the point in bringing him in.
No, that's why he didn't get it. That's why no other team in the league signed him as a head coach this year, because they realized Tom Brady was the glue that held that all together. The players didn't play. They were coached by Belichick. They played for Tom.
Yep, I agree.
You know what I mean? It's say what you want about him, say deflate gate or whatever it is, and all like that. The man wins. He's the Yogi Berra and Bill Russell of football. It's like all he does is win wherever he goes.
Yeah,
I
you ain't kidding about that.
I hate to say it, but it's the truth. You can hate him all you want, but you got to at least give him the credit for what he's done.
Yes, you do. So you may not like it, but you got to respect it. It is what it is. All right.
Exactly.
So we are going to wrap it up for tonight. I invite everybody to go check out the Weapons Hot Mission Briefs on YouTube, as I have special guest Sonia Pearson from All Things Sports from a Lady's Perspective joining me for the Roku show tonight. I invite everyone to go and check it out. You can follow the show on Facebook. Just look up Weapons Hot Mission Briefs. We post these shows and also the other shows from Northeast Streaming Sports up there. Scott's all over the place, so you can always reach out to him on Facebook. He'll probably tell you to go, Jets of this, Jets of that, go scratch your ass. While he's over there in his top secret bunker in Arkansas. So anyhow, hope to see you guys. If any of you are gonna stream the live stream, basically the way that you can get the live stream from Roku is if you have the Roku Live TV app and you search up Northeast Streaming Sports, you can find Weapons Hot Mission Briefs. I still have yet to do it because every time I've done it, it's crashed and burned. I've gotten so aggravated, I've thrown my phone across the room. So if you guys have better luck than me, awesome. All right. So with that, for Scott Gillespie, the New York Jets' one biggest pain in the ass, I'm CJ, the Painkiller, DeSimone, signing off for tonight. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. Peace, love, go Jets. See you next week.
Have a good night, CJ.
Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate you jumping in.